Don't miss your chance to win big every week on The Zone. This week on Win Ticket Wednesday. Win tickets to see Counting Crows August 21st at the Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater. Don't miss Counting Crows, a complete suites tour with special guest, the Gaslight Anthem. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Listen to The Zone all day Wednesday for your chance to win. DJ PK, and we're joined now by Kevin Graham, longtime sports radio host here in Utah. Kevin, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Happy Monday. How are you guys doing today? Is everything all right? Are you two getting along? What's going on?
It's all good, Kevin.
He wears on me.
We are so happy to be talking to you.
I know. I just love when DJ makes the show political, throwing out like a 1960s president signing to allow the NFL to play football on Saturday. Like, I mean, I'm listening to this past hour. I'm like, what? DJ, how you even know that? I don't even know. But like, I just
bless his
like,
heart.
Really? That's why the NFL plays on Saturday late in the season. That I never knew that. Things you learn on this program.
That is why.
So.
That actually is why. And I threw it out there. I believe it was like, did the president sign something? I'm like, well, yes. The answer to that is yes.
People were wondering. You act like it was an absurd question.
It was.
You said it was a law.
We've covered
Who the
it
hell
before.
signed the law? That's a basic question.
Thought you went to Arizona State.
Yeah, and
Walter
I studied.
Cronkite is
and
spinning
what
in his
happened
grave.
in 61 sure is relevant to today. Give me a 20-minute soccer update. Ready, go, like you did earlier.
It is relevant.
Well, what's funny is PK just being all sarcastic, thinking that wasn't even true, and then there's, well, yeah, it was.
Matter of fact,
Oh, it's a law. That's the logical. I asked the logical questions. I ain't softball TV city over here.
You asked a logical question. I gave you a logical answer.
Then why'd you make it sound so absurd? When your impression wasn't, he asked, did the president sign it? Did the president sign it? I think that was a loaded impression. You're guilty. Ha, ha, ha. Even you can't wiggle out of this one this time.
Yeah, he does. He does wear on me,
man.
just in case you wonder, Kevin. Yes, he does.
Yeah, no, I understand. But you know what, though? But you know, keep the political theme you've started, DJ. College football and sports in general, I mean, the reason college football is so messed up is there's not a central organizing company, if that makes sense.
It's central organizing company.
Or a commissioner.
Like NFL. NFL has a company. You know, yes, you have all these owners, and they're all separate owners, but they still answer to the NFL, and the NFL negotiates on behalf of all the teams. It's all together in one. Yeah. It's sports communism, sports socialism, but they're all thriving because they're making all the money.
Was in the beginning?
No.
Right. So college football is slowly, glacially paced, moving that direction.
I don't want to bring it to you, but
they're not.
The pros
It's capitalism.
The pros,
it's not. SEC thinks they want all the money, so they're going to do that. They're going out negotiating on their behalf. Big Ten's floating these stupid 24-team ideas out there because they want the power and they want the money. Everybody's their own company, and you have no centralized. NCAA is a joke. I mean, as a Michigan fan, because, you know, I paid thousands of dollars for one of my daughters to go to Michigan. We're laughing at the NCAA, like $20 million. You have no I'm Michigan. I don't even pay the NCAA. What are they going to do? Suspend you? Like, they have no power.
You want it to be like the pros. What do they do in the pros? Do they take away the Super Bowl? Do they take away scholarships? They fine them. And now the NCAA does something that the almighty pro does, and you call it a joke. Well, it's the same. That's all they can do.
They don't have any power. They have no power.
Then how does Goodell have any power if they fine somebody? The NCAA did exactly what Goodell would do in the situation of breaking the law or the NFL laws. You fine somebody. That's my point. It's going that way. In another 25, 35, 55 years, if man is still alive, this is what it'll end up. And we'll look back and say, yeah, it's exactly like the pros, or it's 95% closer to the pros than it is now. It's just everything is new. We've only been paying these players legally for like 2 years. You got to give it some opportunity to get to that point because it's going to that point. Just have some vision, my friend.
I know. I agree. And I'm not arguing against you because I totally 100% agree with you, PK.
Welcome to my world.
It should be that. But the NCAA, the conferences have more power than the NCAA. They're all their separate entity. They need to come together as one, but they're not going to do it. I mean, if they would come together as one, could you imagine the amount of money? I mean, they're all making money now anyways, but if they were smart, you come together as one, now you negotiate as one to all these different TV networks and all these streaming services. The exact same thing the NFL is doing.
Great.
And
so
you will reap so much money, but it's equal.
And there'd
They
be
don't
so
want
many
that.
casualties employment-wise along the way, because then you wouldn't have these need for commissioners, and they're making millions, so they're going to give up their millions. And once you start encroaching upon a man's money, it's every man for himself.
Agree. And that's what it is right now in college football. It's every man for themselves.
Right.
And that's why we get these stupid proposals. This is why, like you were talking about, DJ, why do we have week 0 and only 5 teams playing? Like, why don't they just let all the teams play starting now in week 0? Or how about let's call it week 1 and start a week early. And then that way you could start. I mean, it's just dumb. Like, in college sports,
go ahead and schedule the games. What are they going to do? They're going to have the National Guard. They're already busy in D.C. They can't go over there and start down the road in Virginia if they want to play games there. What are they going to do? They're going to lock the gates? Have armed guards? You can't play?
Know.
Go ahead and do it. Play.
I mean, they already got police on the field with the coaches in college football for whatever stupid reason. Like, I don't know. I mean, like, the whole thing is corrupt. It's not going to change because everybody's out for themselves, and the NCAA has no power, so it doesn't matter. Like, so I mean, I mean, heck, they're eating their own. In ACC, you had Clemson and Florida State suing their other schools because they're like, we're better than the other schools. We deserve more money than you. So then they have to pay them more money to stay in the ACC. I mean, they're eating their own. Everything you just said, PK, is true, but it's not going to change. Nothing is going to change because there's no power.
I think it'll change over time. It's just going to be slow because so many people, no one wants to give up power. Once you've acquired power, you don't want to give it up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they're not going to do it because you're right. It's CYA, man. Everyone's covering their own rear ends. They don't want to lose their money. That's the way it's going to be. So, hey, you know what? Starting on Saturday, for whatever stupid college football tradition, we're going to have a game in week 0, and we're all going to be happy because football is going to be on the field.
True.
They're just copying the NFL. Yeah, they're just copying the NFL. There was a loophole. They said, well, you could play if you have to go outside the continental U.S. because these teams have to go to Hawaii. And somebody said, why don't we go play in Ireland like the NFL? Mm-hmm. And here we are.
Well, come in Utah, most people don't think that we're part of the U.S.
Oh, you just said BYU was going to play baseball in Mexico. You could move a football game to Mexico or Canada.
Didn't the U.S. Army were going to like blow up Utah at one point or something back in the day?
I mean, got 2 beautiful stadiums.
All because DJ brought the president into play about an hour ago. You know, I don't know.
I couldn't even tell you who the president was then, let alone
I don't either.
Rule that they did.
Eisenhower? Who was the 1960s president? This would be really bad. This is where my public education.
After they forced Nixon out of office, I gave up on it.
Would have been before
DJ,
they forced
who was
Nixon
president? 19 whatever.
It depends if it was signed in 60 or 61. I think it was 61. Which
nerd.
So it would have been JFK.
And he thinks this nerd stuff is charming, not obnoxious.
Well, he asked me a question, so I gave him an answer. You know, he's a guest.
Well, good. Well, this was fun. Great to talk to you guys. All right.
Which of the 5 playoff proposals are you picking? Stay at 12, go to 16 with only 5 conference champs, and then the committee picks the other 11. Go to 16 and do the Big Ten thing with 3rd place playing 6th place to get in. Go to 24, go to 28. What do you want?
16 is fine by me, but I want the little guy to still be involved. I want the other 5. They better get a guaranteed bid in there. But it doesn't. Whatever the Big Ten and SEC want is what's going to happen. They're the ones controlling college football. So, and they're going to want whatever proposal is going to get more of their teams in. So, 24 and 28 is ridiculous. You can't do that. I mean, again, there is already old school that regular season games should mean something. conference titles should mean a little bit. So, I mean, keep it at 12 or 16. I'm kind of curious to see how it's going to work this year now where they did the seeding and they changed the seed. So now legitimately you can argue the top 4 teams will get the bye. So I'm curious to see how that plays out this year. And then if it's still kind of messed up, then, you know, I'd consider going to 16 just to let 4 more teams in. I mean, why not? I don't think that's big of a deal. But anything beyond that, man, is stupid. Just for college football, just there's no need to do that. Reality is what they probably, you know, we've talked about this before, and I know Utah and BYU fans won't like to hear this being in the Big 12, but really they should just go in tiers. You know, they just should do it like high school football, man. Let the SEC and Big 10 battle out for their national championship. Let the Big 12, ACC, maybe throw another conference or 2 in there. Let them battle for a championship. Let the Little Five, let them go and do their own championship. And then that way we have a bunch of winners and everybody will be happy. Everyone will make money and we'll just move along.
That's a stupid idea.
Well, that's another direction it's going to go, PK, because, again, there's no central force to coordinate anything. And the Big Ten and the SEC, they're the ones controlling. You have the ones controlling college football right now. So they're making any move they make is going to benefit those two. I mean, sure, let's go to 24, 28 teams, and we're each going to have 7 teams in. Oh, and hey, little Big 12 and ACC, we'll give you 5 each.
And what's the difference, though? They already got 4. Ohio State finished 4th in the conference and got in.
Yep.
So it's already happening. I think you're leaving out a critical component of decision-making, and I think it's the executives in television.
Well, yeah, no doubt. No, is yes, because they're the ones that are funding it all. They have the money. So you're right. They are dictating a lot of what is going on, or at least those ideas are being floated to ESPN, and they're saying, well, yeah, we'll give you a few more billion if you do this. No, we're not going to pay a few more billion for this. So, yeah, you are right on that. Yes.
NFL preseason football is happening. Have you seen anything that you think is real? Any of these young quarterbacks that everybody's talking about, you think they're real, or you can't tell because it's preseason football, and get back to me in September when the real games start?
I will say no. I mean, you got to wait till the real games start. I think the preseason's a joke in that regard. But I did watch my Jets lose to the Giants, and what is it? I think he didn't go Corner Canyon, and then where Jackson Dart went. He looked really good. Like he against the Jets' second and third stringers. Like not just how he was throwing the ball was good, but you just see his leadership. You could just see that the players were motivated to play with him. So I actually was impressed. It sucks. I mean, he's just past his prime, and so Dart will end up being the starting quarterback with the Giants at some point. They're going to start Russell Wilson because the coach is on the hot seat, and he's got to do everything he can to try to save his job. But when it's all over, Dart will be playing. I mean, Zach Wilson played well. That's great. I mean, more likely he is going to play this year because, you know, unfortunately Tua just gets hurt every year and gets a concussion every year. So, you know, him actually performing well, I thought was at least good for him. McDaniel actually is, as much as he's going to get fired after this year. I mean, he is an offensive guru, and maybe, you know, with, Wilson finally, you know, playing under Peyton last year and now playing under McDaniel, maybe he'll get his game right a little bit. So, you know, we'll see on that. But, you know, otherwise, I mean, Caleb Williams played well last night against the Bills. Bills were awful. Bills did not play, I don't think, starters. So, again, I don't know how much you can, you know, read in that. You know, I mean, other than that, I mean, there's nothing really that you can get out of it more so than, you know, if you're a real geek and you really are digging in because you want to know who's going to make the roster at number 52 or number 53 in the roster and play on special teams, then, yeah, maybe you're into this. But I mean, let's face it, after the first quarter, the game doesn't matter usually the rest of the way. And in the case of last night's game, like I said, the Bills didn't even play any of their starters, so the game didn't matter at all. I mean, again, you want to talk about stupidity, like the preseason is dumb. I mean, it really, they do it again for money and everything else, but I foresee that we'll go down to 2 games in the preseason at some point, and they'll probably add another regular season game so we can get up to 18 regular season games. And I'm not opposed to that. The more NFL, the better. The more games that count, the better for me.
Right. That's why the NFL is a mess. There's no leadership. College doesn't have that. They just go right into the season. They don't mess around with this nonsense that the fans don't care about. They've got it right.
But the whole first hour ripping college, and now you're defending college. It's amazing to me.
You spent the whole first half of the segment praising the NFL. Now you're ripping it.
Well, because they're playing preseason games that don't matter. Again, it's common sense, but the NFL can do whatever they want. I mean, that's how they rule the world when it comes to sports. You're sitting there talking about, that's meaningful to me. Like, dude, no, it's not. Football, NFL, college, those are the two things that mean the most. NFL knows what they're doing. College is eating themselves up and eating their own. That's the summation. But again, end game is when they get on the field, it's awesome. Hell, I was on a freaking preseason game the Jets. Why did I do that? Because you know what? Maybe I don't know, because I'm a dumb fan, and I thought, maybe the Jets will win a preseason game with a bunch of backup players. And guess what happened? As usually happens in my case, I lost my $10. So I don't know. It's fun. All right. It's not rational.
I hesitate to bring this up, but I think it has to be said, so I'm going to go ahead and do it even if I get roasted for it. I heard the president signed a law in the 90s that you had to move every 18 months, and I heard you've moved again to comply with the law. Is that true?
I did. I'm in Charlotte now.
You're in Charlotte?
I'm in the East Coast.
Okay.
I am in the Charlotte area. My parents live here. They retired here 17 years ago. They're older. They both have some health issues. I was getting tired of paying taxes in California, and I'm tired, semi-employed, whatever way you want to put it. So you know what? I'll go to Charlotte and I'll hang on the East Coast, and I'm glad I did, because I don't know if you guys' parents are still around or whatnot, but they're older, they got some heart issues, so I'm helping them out, and so now I'm here. Here I am, living in my parents' basement.
Okay, well that is noble, helping your parents out and taking care of family. Good for you there. Yeah. Because you're in Charlotte now, I'm wondering, what's the coverage like of Bill Belichick? How's that going? How do you think it's going to go? Because we're all, even if we're not way into it, and we're not because we're on this side of the country, we're going to glance at it once in a while because he's Bill Belichick.
Oh, yeah. No, it's interesting because it's kind of like what PK was saying about what's happened to Arizona, what happened to the Phoenix area. This is a very big college area, obviously, being now ACC, more college basketball than college football. But the Carolina Panthers are really dominating most of the coverage in the Charlotte area. They are now kind of the team that's focused on. But with that said, there are a lot of UNC fans, Duke fans as well here. And I think everybody's optimistic to see what happens on the field. But Belichick's being Bell. Did you guys read that part? Like, he's not even going to do the Bill Belichick show. How every college coach has their own college show. He's refusing to do that. Mike Lombardi, who's a general manager, because now college teams have general managers, he's going to do it. Belichick's going to show up on his first show. So obviously most of the coverage has been about his 24-year-old girlfriend and all the things she's been doing. But I think once the games start and see what he's actually putting out on the field, I think then that'll be interesting to see how people react here. But, I mean, they sold out the stadium. I thought about it. I'm like, man, I should go up to Chapel Hill. I'd love to go see a game up there. And, I mean, you can't get a ticket. I mean, so and Mark didn't pay a lot of money. So we'll see if that continues, if they win. But I don't know. I think there's a lot of people. The one thing I have noticed, I think a lot of people think he's not there for the long term. Whether it doesn't work and they fire him quickly because I think they have a friendly buyout, or if he's just using this to try to get an NFL job again. So, but I think we got to wait for they hit the field and see what he's putting out there. He's a great coach, we know that, but I don't know, man. I'm a little skeptical of how he's going to translate to college football, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, Pete Carroll struck gold there with the NFL to college. So, but I mean, he's much younger. I don't know.
Yeah, and look at his personality, PK. I mean, he was a raw type. He fit college. To be able to motivate kids. I mean,
sure.
Belichick's not that, obviously. So
yeah, but I don't think he can be in there for the long term just by nature of his age. How old is he? I mean, he's 72, 73.
73, yeah. No, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, but he's 73 and he's got a 24-year-old girlfriend. So yeah, I don't know what that says.
Now, do you find that admirable or do you find that disgusting?
I will say he has a lot of money, so I think there's a reason maybe that he.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
As a single divorced human, I'm not going to comment on that. I just, it's just a little,
Keeping your options open, Kevin. You got to keep your options open.
As I just recently stated, I may not have the money Bill Belichick has. So, yeah, so no. Man, this is going to be a fun year. I can't wait for Mondays. So.
All right.
Hey, the lottery's legal in North Carolina. You never know. You never know.
All right, no comment. Okay.
All right.
Is that it? We can end on that.
Should we leave it right there, Kevin? Let you regroup?
I think we should.
If your parents are into this conversation, you're going to be grounded.
You guys stop.
Okay.
This is my life, man. I sometimes wonder what happened to my life. I wonder if I would have just stayed in Salt Lake, what would have happened? So let me ponder that for a while.
All right. Ponder that. We appreciate having you on.
Great. Thanks, gentlemen.
We will talk to you next week. All right. Thanks, Kevin.
I cannot wait. Goodbye.
All right. DJ PK, it's 97.5 The Zone. We're about an hour away from Kevin Young, BYU men's basketball coach, sliding back a little bit in the 9 o'clock hour, but he'll join us later in the show right here on The Zone. DJ PK, it's 97.5 The Zone. Stay with us.